We're live. All right. So first, a quick update. We had a major milestone within Atlassian. We launched HipChat Video, which is using Jitsi Video Bridge and the Jitsi Meet API. So that's pretty cool. We're getting some major stats. The whole system is holding pretty well, quite stable. So I guess that's one more success for Jitsi in production. Yeah, let's do a quick one. Who has anything to share? George, you're closest to the camera, so.
Yeah. So most of the past couple of weeks I have spent with timestamp rewriting. Initially, we started rewriting the sequence numbers to hide the gaps in the when the audio is silent. We drop the packet, so we wanted to hide to hide the sequence number gaps there. Then we also understood that we need to rewrite the timestamps there, so we started rewriting the timestamps. We use that logic. We reuse the same logic for last time. Then we also need to implement the hack.
George, could you please unmute? Yeah, it's this bug.
Okay.
And I tried to mute Brian, and I muted you as well.
Did you hear why?
There was this bug, is the last thing we heard.
Okay, there was this bug there is this bug in the video tag that doesn't play audio if it doesn't receive the video. So we implement the hack, injecting black keyframes, and we reuse the gaps in sequencing for that as well. So we have been, but this turned out to have some problems. So most of the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to fix those problems. These might include fixes in some very rare occasions of scrambling videos because I have gone through the whole rewriting code and I have been fixing bugs here and there. I could go more into the details what has been fixed. I don't know if that's interesting or not. I can, if you have questions about the work that's being done there, I can answer. I'm not sure if it's interesting also.
What's the status of Miriam's PR, by the way?
Well,
no, I was asking the review. But yeah, Brian, if you want to respond.
George, maybe you want to answer Emil's question separately. I was just going to throw out, I think, George, we've been talking with you about this. Miriam has.
Yeah.
But just in general, we've had to disable a lock drift issue that you guys have seen, at least so far. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. But
if you don't rewrite the timestamps, how does it work for you? I mean, the jitter buffer gets confused. So
are you Brian? Are you saying that you're actually getting consistent timestamps at the sender?
No, but we actually rely on the timestamp gap between the stream because that's how we know we need to like request an IDR and flush the jitter, because we actually ran into a problem. We filed this on Chrome, excuse me, where when you stream switch, like the jitter buffer you'll get a freeze for like 5 to 7 seconds because it keeps. And we actually added some code to say like, well, if there's a timestamp jump of more. So we haven't run into problems like that on the jitter buffer, because wherever there's be able to know when to do that.
But
so
also this.
So actually, it's not just clock drift. It's just entirely different timestamp basis.
Okay, we haven't been. If it is doing a totally different timestamp and jumping forward, then yeah, it's probably falling back to that flush logic.
I think that's what we've seen. Boris George.
Yeah. We have been tricked at the beginning because it doesn't happen always. They have a logic for generating this random offset, and sometimes they don't appear to be as random as they should be. So they seem to be, the streams seem to have the same offset, but this is not a guarantee. There's nothing guaranteeing that you will have the same offset for all three streams.
Yeah, so we haven't seen, so for that, I think at this point we haven't seen issues switching between layers, so we haven't looked into exactly what it's doing since there hasn't been a problem there. I could look and see which scenario it's hitting, but I was just throwing that out there.
That's interesting. I wonder if there's some other way that the H64 thing can be solved.
Well, you just made me, if that's the case for the simulcast, because the Chrome response, we had asked, we submitted that patch and they didn't like that little Delta thing. And they said, oh, well, what you really need to do is you need to make sure that, you always start with an IDR and you terminate correctly and all that, which is, which we said, okay, fine. I still didn't think that was the best thing, but we said we'd try that out and we haven't gotten around to doing that yet.
Is that the one issue where some point, because that thing you always have to ask for an IDR looked like a very answer to me?
No, it's been a week. We went back and forth a bunch and it's been a week or two. The one that I was talking with you about.
So you're now confident that that's their official position and not just...
I think he's pushing hard for that. I don't think I think he's doing that more like, I think at this point we have to try what they've suggested to be able to come back.
Right.
Why this doesn't work. That's what
I mean, there's always a solution of adding some header extension, sort of.
we've run into like a few different things around like simulcast stream switching and stream switching.
Marking draft had something.
Say again, boy.
Marking had something like that. I don't think they have. Do they have picture IDs? I thought they only had layer IDs.
Oh, in that draft?
Markings draft?
What was missing?
Into picture IDs, but let's not.
Oh, it does.
It does? Thank you, internet subs.
What the status of it is or anything.
Yeah, it's very active there.
Okay. And close, right, George? She's gone back and went forth with a couple. I don't know if maybe she's already submitted. She just pushed that to our stuff, I think, last week on Friday. Like the true desire.
Okay, so actually I've been working on some desktop sharing problems. So there was a problem with the NWJS desktop sharing. So we were not able to detect if the user pressed the cancel button on the window pickup screen. And another thing that I was working on is something like external desktop sharing, no external plugin installation. So that should be, I mean, when you have, when you open Meet from pop-up or iframe, you don't have permissions to do the inline installation of the plugin. So in that case, we are now opening a dialog with a link to the Chrome Web Store, and we are waiting for the user to install it from there. There were some issues with that, so I fixed them. Other than that, I think I have worked a little bit on detecting ghost participants, but that's not much to know. Also, what was the other thing? I think that's it.
I've been adding some analytics event and also working on co-stats. We found Boris found a memory leak in our code where in a certain situation we're leaking conferences. Co-stats integration, we fixed that. And also I've implemented the JWT authentication in of the co-stats, and it's now merged in latest code.
Thanks, Damian.
That's it.
Actually, I just remember two more things. So we removed the logs code completely. That was Damian.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I have worked a little bit on fixing some statistics about time to first media, but that's not completed as well.
Yeah, so time to first media is something that we're continuing to struggle with because we're finding out that it's actually a very vague thing for many conferences. So it's still something that where we're looking for a solution. But basically, we're trying to comb through cases where media didn't arrive for legitimate reasons or reasons that we don't want to measure, like permissions problems or anything like that. Yeah, it's something still out there in the open. So one thing that George didn't mention is that we have this this thing about this old Chrome bug where it wouldn't start playing audio unless it gets video. What's that?
No.
Okay. George implemented a hack where we're basically sending an empty frame to the various devices to make sure that there would be some video that would unblock the audio rendering. And this turns out to be more complicated than expected. So a lot of it had to do with actual the rewriting of stuff, of sequence numbers and timestamps. And I believe that's still open. Is that correct, George?
Actually, right now I'm the shape of the PR, like the code is ready. I'm just reorganizing the commits so that they make sense, and I will ask Boris to review it.
Oh, that's great news. Thanks
Yeah.
very much. So another thing, Damian mentioned a little bit about it. We'd really like to get server-side stats for calls implemented in the video bridge.
And packet loss.
And packet loss, and we need to have a solution about identifying participants. So on the server side where we don't have the nicknames that we use, so we try to work that out with the co-stats guys. Varun, Karthik, I'd really appreciate some thoughts there. I know that you have something in mind coming, but yeah, we're not sure what to do in the meantime.
I think it's implemented, but maybe not on the Java side. We'll have to look at what's available on the Java side.
Yeah,
the
could you please?
But we can have a discussion later in the week about it.
Okay, thanks, and we'll update everyone here after that. Right, so Pavel, do you want to talk briefly about your work on detecting and notifying about disruptions?
Yes, so I'm still working on the UI part for that, and I have some torture tests for this feature.
Just to be clear, what this is about is a feature where we would detect if some participant is having problems with their connection and then notify everyone else from the bridge that this participant is having issues so that they could update their UI accordingly. This was just the intro.
Yes, so apart from bridge notifications, we're going to take advantage of video muted events generated by Chrome. So it turns out that Chrome will trigger a muted event whenever remote participant video is frozen or like it starts streaming or something, and it detects problems very fast. So we're going to use that apart from the video bridge notification, but this works only on Chrome.
Okay. Yeah, for the rest, we're going to use ICE and data channel notifications. That might be of interest to others here. Yeah, I see that there's a raised hand from in the call here. Would you like to ask a question? I'm not sure who that is.
You're muted.
iWays.
Oh, you.
Oh, okay. They're just listening. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Not a problem.
That's the time we use that feature, and it was a bug.
So, Boris, do you want to talk about something, or should we just finish with the mobile update?
Yeah, very quick. Not much here. So we extended the statistics that the bridge reports in Colibri and VRS. So it now has stuff like the total number of conferences and participants that it created, the total number of duration of conferences, number of connections that were established over TCP or UDP, some more stats. Yeah, there's a distribution of conference sizes, so we find that quite useful for our statistics and monitoring the environment. On another note, our GSOC project finished, so Nick is not here this time to talk about it. Maybe he'll be here next time, we'll see. He has a PR open that implements recording of audio locally on the client and then creating a transcription. So if anyone is interested in this, we still don't know how to use it because we don't know what to do with the final transcript. There's different options here. If we're recording, we can send it to YouTube, we can store it somewhere, we can send an email or whatever, but that's to be determined. So if anyone's interested in this project, contact us and we can discuss it.
Cool, that's great. Thanks, Boris. Lubo, would you like to give an update from React Land?
So we're currently focused on mobile in the React app. The last week I spent fixing bugs or missing features, bugs mostly, in the project React Native WebRTC. That's pretty much the work that I did last week. Because
could you maybe mention the bugs that you fixed?
yes, there was a crash on iOS when a video was to be used, but the user has denied permission to the video capture device. I fixed this. There was a memory leak in the video display. I fixed that as well. Because we have a fork of this third-party project, we sometimes get into conflicts with upstream when they do changes. Sometimes they re-implement stuff that we've implemented already, and then we get into conflicts. So I'm currently trying to get all our PRs merged into all our commits merged into upstream. There is currently a PR done by a third party that takes all of our commits, and this PR has been reviewed and it's pending merging. So once they do that, we should have everything of ours into upstream. I'm still waiting to receive write access to this repository. so that I can go and directly push into upstream when we have new changes. That's the update on mobile.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else from Austin? While you guys are thinking, there was a question from Roy. Can you comment on the Jitsi streaming packaging roadmap priority? The roadmap is we are going to package that at some point. The priority is not very high right now. So can't really give any dates. If in the meantime someone else wants to do it, we are very happy to take a PR there. Right. Okay, open microphone. I knew I could count on you, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Super. All right, so I have 2 updates. Last month, so there was an open fire meeting event in London, and we had a discussion about open fire meetings, and in terms of how could we work to get Jitsi Meet more in sync, so for us to be participating more to the development process. So nothing concrete yet, but there's an intention, and we'll be trying to set up a meeting to see how to make this happen. So as a reminder, right now we have an older version of Jitsi Meet in OpenFire meetings, and it's not trivial to keep up to date. So of course we want to get back in.
Delay support?
Sorry?
The older version of me that you're referring to, is that the one that Delay supports?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, thanks very much for that update. I would be very keen to get Meet in a tighter integration with OpenFire. The problem that we've had so far is that Delhi seemed to have made choices that were different from the ones that we've made in Meet, and there wasn't a lot of I don't believe there was an intention or a desire to merge, to go back to the mainstream Meet. So I'm not sure if that has changed in any way, but I definitely appreciate the intention.
I think we're being kicked out of the room.
Really? Did you guys acknowledge that you were starting?
Yes.
Okay, because we have it till 12, actually.
12:30.
Okay. Right. So what was the other piece of information that you wanted to share, Mark?
So yeah, so for the migration to Bootstrap, so sorry about that. It got stuck on our end. So Lucy, who was working on that, he got busy on a big project for a customer, and then there was a community event, so he sort of disappeared for a while. But now he's back, so he'll soon be back working on the feedback, following up on the feedback that Jasna made about the integration.
Yeah. So I have a request there. I do appreciate the effort, and we've said before that this is something that we are ready to take. But it's also not very high on our priority list, so it's not trivial for us to find time to review it. So the request that I have is, could you guys please make sure that you do have a look and just compare it with Meet and make sure that it sort of looks the same, because right now we always stumble over the same thing. Like, this thing doesn't look the same and that thing doesn't look the same, and so this would basically. I'm most concerned about your time, because we keep returning the PRs, and that's not something I want us to do. So yeah, if you guys could, I think, spend a little bit of extra effort on that side, that would be very much appreciated and efficient.
Super, understood.
Thank you. All right.
On that.
I'm not sure what this is about. Problem
Live stream
recording.
reconnected. It worked fine. Everything's great.
Second time.
Yeah. What about problem reporting?
Sorry, the functionality you were talking about to report issues video bridge, where if a client's having an issue, it'll be communicated out to the other clients.
It's actually mostly done. I believe Pavel has an intention to get it merged this week. Pavel, am I correct?
Oh, sorry, I missed the whole thing. What are you talking about?
About the connection disruption notifications.
Yes, we hope to have it ready by this week.
Right, and is that Dave? Yeah. Dave, are you guys also using the Jitsi Meet, the libjitsi Meet API?
No, we have our own focus controller and client.
Okay. So in that case, these notifications are coming over data channels, so you should be able to benefit from them directly in the client without doing anything in your focus.
Yeah, that would be awesome. As long as it's documented, that'd be great.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Pavel, would you please make a note to add a few lines explaining what the events look like, and just so that others can process them appropriately?
Yeah, sure.
Yep. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. So in that case, we're going to cut it here. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and see you again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.